and hopefully hit some really big lists like USA Today or New York Times kind of thing. With a group effort, we should be able to do it, I think.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of people don't realize, and if you're not a writer or you're not heavily involved in the um, writing industry, as independent authors, but even traditionally published authors, that getting on those lists is it's not automatic. It's not like you just get out there and sell a bunch of books. There is there's some qualifications that have to be met to make those lists, and this will be ebook only. Is that correct?
Ebook only, yeah. And it's
right.
A limited edition, so it's only going to be available once it goes live. It'll only be available for about 3 months, I think.
Oh, wow.
And then all of the participating authors will get the rights back to their stories, where we can then publish them individually, kind of thing. So the stories will always be available, just not in the form of a collection.
So I better get mine fast. I think I might have pre-ordered that, actually. And then it's available on all the platforms that ebooks,
all different, the platforms,
yeah. So Kindle, Kobo, all of them. So that's an interesting thing to, and then because you see a lot of authors that, USA Today, best-selling authors, and that's what they've done is they've made an impact on a bunch of different platforms in order to, reach that status.
It's months and months and months of pushing and promoting and spreading the word and getting as many pre-orders as you can, because the magic of pre-orders is that you kind of know ahead of time before your book is even released if you're going to hit lists, right? Because you can tally up the pre-orders kind of thing.
Right. And we often see that.
Fun project.
Yeah, and we often see that with the big authors or big books that are coming out, and you hear, like recently, there have been some really big political books that have been talked about, but they're not out yet, and they're coming, and they're already number one on the bestseller list, and you go, how do they know they're number one on the bestseller list if they haven't sold them yet? But it's because people can pre-order, and because I pre-order books all the time just so that I get them to my device as soon as possible, and I like that. When I want a book, I want to read it now. And living in rural Newfoundland, you can't always go to a bookstore to get your book. You have to find other
order
ways.
online.
So, I either order if it's a book of an author that I really want to have the physical book, I'll order it delivered, but that's not as fast either. But I get a lot of books on my e-reader. I love reading on that. And, it's
I'm
easy
old school. I really, really like paperbacks.
I do too.
I do read ebooks, yeah.
I do too, but if your book's coming out and I need it that day, that's my only option.
Right? You do what you got to do, yeah.
As long as you're reading. I like audiobooks too. I like audiobooks, and they have their purpose. If I'm driving or if I'm working in the kitchen, I can't really turn pages, and I'll put on an audiobook before I'll put on other things to listen to, unless I'm in the mood for music. But any way that you can get your words is as far as I'm concerned, is good. And a lot of this, and you're an independent author, so. And you're also, and I've noticed this, and I've got marketing background, and I know a bit about marketing books as well. And you've kind of, to me, when I watch what you do with marketing, you do all of the things that are recommended, that are advised, that make success, which is growing. I mean, success is not overnight. You build your career, the more books you have.
It's a series of trial and error, figuring out what works. Because what works for one author isn't always going to work for every author, right?
Right.
It depends on your genre. It depends on your readers. It depends on your book. It depends on so many different factors. So, I mean, what works for me might not work for somebody else. But on the other hand, it very well might work for somebody else.
Well, and I think that's it. It's finding your groove, your space, and also for me, I read books from people that interest me, and what I mean by that is the authors interest me, so I read their work, right?
Yeah.
So the book alone is not always the selling point. It's how the author engages with people, and especially when I'm discovering new books, the author, is going to a book event and talking to someone, and you go talk to a bunch of authors, and you'll buy the one that sort of interests you. And it's not always the book that's the most interesting thing. It's the person you're talking to. And then you say, well, if they're that interesting to talk to, let's see what they're like for writing and what their writing's like.
Definitely. Like, that goes with like any big name author. Like, as a reader, they're investing in that author, not necessarily their books. Like, as soon as you hear Stephen King has a new book out, what are his readers going to do? They're just going to go buy it. They don't even care what it's about because it's a Stephen King book, right?
Exactly.
So it's, as an author, building your brand is more important, I think, than actually spreading the word about your book. If you create a persona and really engage with your readers and create like a community around yourself, then you're building your brand, and readers will invest in that.
That's right. And it's a common thing for every kind of marketing that, if you're going to buy a car, the person that you buy from is likely to be someone you know, or someone that makes you feel that you trust, and those things are all part of any marketing of any product, and there's no difference in writers or books than any other. People, writers and authors, creatives in general, don't like to hear their work referred to as a product. But it is. It is.
It comes down to it.
And that's part of what we're trying to do with this show, is try to bridge all of the little pieces of being a creative and working in the creative industries, the art, the business side of it, but also the connections between people, and finding readers and finding fans for your music if you're a musician, and that kind of thing. So that's actually where the title of the show came from, is trying to connect people, and bridges connect people.
Bridges, yeah.
Bridges, yeah. So, that's going to be explained a lot, because I wanted it to be also a conversation thing. So people, so why'd you call the show Bridges? So that I could tell them that. So yeah, I got some branding to do there, but we're brand new, and we'll do that. So anyway, you have a website where we can check out your books, and it is, I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't, but you know it. What's your website?
It's authorcandaceosmond.com.
Okay,
easy enough.
Easy. Author Candace Osmond. So we'll put that on our Facebook page, and make sure that everybody has access to that. All right. Well,
awesome.
Thank you very much, Candace. We appreciate this, and good luck with the book coming out on September 24th. The Siren's Call. Right?
Siren's Call, yeah.
The Siren Call?
Siren's Call, yeah.
Yeah, I got it right. Okay, good. Good luck with that, and good luck with Right to Reign and all of that too. Keep us posted if
definitely.
Yeah, if you have success getting that recognition and getting on the bestseller lists, let us know, and maybe we'll talk to you again.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Bridges radio program. Find us again next Friday at 8 p.m. Bridges is produced at Citadel House Studios in Lewisport, Newfoundland and Labrador, and is a collaborative project between Carolyn R. Parsons and Citadel House.